Hello everyone, thank you for being here today. I want to start with something that may sound controversial, something I wish someone had told me years ago. Healing is important, but healing is not the goal. And for a long time, I genuinely believed it was. I thought that if I healed enough, if I understood myself enough, if I processed enough emotions, if I read enough books, listened to enough podcasts, attended enough trainings, then one day my life would finally change. One day I would wake up feeling free. One day I would finally feel ready. One day I would become the version of myself I was trying so hard to become. But what I eventually discovered changed everything. Healing can become another form of hiding. Not because healing is bad. Healing is beautiful. Healing is necessary. Healing saved me in many ways. But healing alone doesn't rebuild your life. Understanding your life is not the same thing as creating a new one. And many people are healing without actually becoming freer. They're becoming more self-aware, but not more financially secure. More conscious, but not more courageous. More informed, but not moving. And I know this because that was me for years. So today, I want to talk about the difference between healing and rebuilding. Because one creates awareness, the other creates freedom. And if you're in a season where you're ready to stop merely understanding your life and start creating it, this conversation is for you. Let me share something personal. After everything I had been through, I became obsessed with healing. Maybe some of you can relate. I consumed everything: books, podcasts, courses, therapy, journaling, meditation, inner work, mindset work, personal development. I wanted answers. I wanted peace. I wanted clarity. And honestly, all of those things helped. They helped me understand myself. They helped me understand my patterns. They helped me understand my fears. They helped me understand where I was stuck. And that awareness was valuable. But eventually, I reached a moment that changed everything. I asked myself one difficult question. If I have healed so much, why doesn't my life look different? Why wasn't I earning differently? Why wasn't I living differently? Why wasn't I creating differently? Why was I still waiting? Why was I still postponing? Why was I still standing at the edge of possibilities instead of stepping into them? That question was uncomfortable because suddenly I realized something. Healing helped me understand the past, but rebuilding required me to create the future. And those are not the same thing. Understanding why you procrastinate is valuable, but eventually you still have to act. Understanding why you're afraid is important, but eventually you still have to move. Understanding your limiting beliefs helps, but eventually you have to make decisions. And that's when everything started changing for me. Because I stopped asking, what else do I need to heal? And I asked, what do I need to build? Truth number one: healing creates awareness. Rebuilding creates results. This is one of the biggest lessons I've learned. Awareness is powerful. Awareness is often the beginning, but awareness by itself doesn't transform your reality. You can understand every pattern you have. You can identify every trigger. You can explain every fear. You can describe exactly why you are stuck and still remain stuck. Because awareness without action becomes information. Transformation happens when information becomes implementation. You can know why you procrastinate, but eventually you still have to post the content, make the phone call, launch the offer, start the business, apply for the opportunity, have the difficult conversation, take the first step. Action creates evidence. Evidence creates confidence. Confidence creates momentum. And momentum creates results. Most people are waiting to feel confident before acting. But confidence doesn't come first. Action comes first. Confidence follows. That's rebuilding. Truth number 2. Freedom is built through decisions, not breakthroughs, not manifestations, not perfect morning routines, not waiting for inspiration. Decisions, repeated consistently. Every meaningful change in my life started with a decision. Not certainty, a decision. The decision to show up. The decision to learn. The decision to keep going. The decision to stop hiding. The decision to stop waiting. The decision to trust myself before I had the evidence. And what I have learned is that freedom is rarely built in one dramatic moment. We love breakthrough stories. We love overnight success stories. But most freedom is built quietly, daily, through choices nobody sees. The decision to keep learning. The decision to keep creating. The decision to keep moving. The decision to keep rebuilding, even when nobody is applauding, even when nobody understands, even when progress feels slow. Freedom is not one giant leap. Freedom is thousands of small decisions made consistently, over time. Truth number 3. Your life changes when evidence replaces identity. This is a big one. A lot of healing work focuses on identity. Who you are, what you believe, how you see yourself. And that's important. But rebuilding focuses on something slightly different. What are you doing? Because confidence doesn't come from affirmations. Confidence comes from evidence. Evidence that you can survive uncertainty. Evidence that you can learn new skills. Evidence that you can solve problems. Evidence that you can earn. Evidence that you can rebuild. When I started creating evidence, everything changed. Not because fear disappeared. Fear didn't disappear. But evidence became louder than fear. Every action became proof. Every step became proof. Every challenge survived became proof. Every obstacle overcome became proof. And eventually, I stopped asking, am I capable? Because I had evidence. Evidence answers questions that mindset alone cannot. There's something else I've realized recently, and this connects directly to where I am right now. For a long time, I shared lessons, mindset, healing, reflections, insights, and I love those conversations. They're meaningful. But I realized something important. I wasn't sharing enough of the rebuild itself, the daily actions, the systems, the process, the progress, the setbacks, the lessons learned in real time. And that's changing. Because rebuilding deserves to be documented, not just discussed. People don't just need inspiration. They need examples. They need proof that rebuilding is possible. They need to see what it actually looks like. Messy, imperfect, human, real. Because freedom isn't created through perfect thinking. It's created through consistent action. So, what does rebuilding actually look like? Let's make this practical. Because rebuilding isn't glamorous. It's not always exciting. Sometimes rebuilding looks incredibly ordinary. Every day I ask myself a few simple questions. What am I creating? What am I learning? What am I improving? What am I building that didn't exist yesterday? Sometimes the answer is content. Sometimes it's a business system. Sometimes it's a new skill. Sometimes it's discipline. Sometimes it's confidence. Sometimes it's income. Sometimes it's simply courage. But every day there is evidence. Evidence that I'm moving forward. Evidence that I'm not standing still. Evidence that I'm becoming someone different. Not because I'm thinking differently, because I'm acting differently. And those actions compound. Day after day, week after week, month after month, until eventually your life starts reflecting the work you've been doing. This is why I believe freedom requires two things: inner work and implementation. Both matter. Healing helps you become the person. Action helps you build the life. Healing helps you release what no longer serves you. Action helps you create what doesn't exist yet. Healing helps you understand yourself. Action helps you trust yourself. And many people are trying to build a new life without inner work. That creates burnout. Others are doing endless inner work without building anything. That creates frustration. The magic happens when both work together. Healing and implementation. Awareness and action. Growth and execution. That combination changes everything. And here's what I've observed. Most people don't actually need more information. Information is everywhere. Most people already know more than enough to take the first step. What they often need is something different: support, accountability, guidance, community, a roadmap. Because rebuilding alone is hard, not impossible, but harder than it needs to be. Sometimes what creates momentum isn't another course. It's being around people who are also rebuilding. People who remind you what's possible. People who challenge you. people who support you, people who help you keep moving. Because momentum is contagious, courage is contagious, action is contagious. If you're listening today and you're in a season of rebuilding, I want you to know something. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need certainty. You don't need perfection. You don't need guarantees. You simply need the willingness to take the next step. That's it. One step, then another, then another. Because rebuilding doesn't happen all at once. It happens one decision at a time, one action at a time, one courageous choice at a time. And eventually, those small choices create a completely different life. So if this message resonates with you, if you no longer are interested in simply healing, if you're ready to rebuild, I'd love to hear from you. Comment rebuild or send me a message with the word rebuild, and I'll send you the information. Because the goal isn't simply to feel better. The goal is to build a life that reflects who you are becoming. A life with more freedom, more choice, more possibility, more alignment, more impact, more courage, more purpose. I want to leave you with one final thought. Healing is important, deeply important. But healing is not the destination. Freedom is. And freedom is not created through understanding alone. Freedom is created through rebuilding. One decision, one action, one courageous step at a time. The life you want is not waiting on the other side of more information. It's waiting on the other side of action. So don't just ask yourself, what do I need to heal? Also ask, what do I need to build? Because that's where your future lives. Thank you for being here. And remember, don't just heal, rebuild. Before we finish today, I want to share something important. Right now, there are some incredible promotions available inside the SMGB ecosystem, but they are ending very soon. If you've been sitting on the fence, if you've been waiting for the right time, this may be genuinely your sign. Because sometimes rebuilding starts with one decision, one step, one commitment to your future. At the moment, SMGB Academy is available at the extended promotional price. The Digital Income System, SMGB Academy, and BTC Mentorship is also available at a heavily reduced price for a limited time. And for those who want ongoing support and continued growth, SMGB XTI is currently available at a locked-in promotional rate of just £10 per month. The regular price is £20 per month. But anyone who joins now can secure the lower rate and keep it as long as they remain active. This is an opportunity to access additional training, support, and resources while locking in a significantly reduced monthly investment. These offers will not remain available forever, and once they end, the price returns to normal. And because I want to support those who are ready to take action, the first 2 people who purchase any product within the system will receive a personalized implementation guide from me. Not a generic PDF, a personalized guide designed to help you identify your next steps, create momentum, and start implementing what you learn faster. Because information alone doesn't create change, implementation does. So if you're interested, simply send me the word rebuild or message me directly after this live, and I'll send you all the details. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Keep healing, keep growing, but most importantly, keep rebuilding. Thank you. This is Anastasia from Light Within.